and welcome to Giving Back with Michele and Steve. Today, our guest is Devin Odom, and she is a master of a lot of things. One, 8-month-old baby boy, so congratulations there, named Henry. A real estate agent, mindset coach. I just want to talk all about mindset because some of us are always in the right mind and some of us are not always in the right mind. And why is that? Right. But first, tell us a little bit about you. Are you from Tacoma?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I grew up in the North End, Wilson High School. Went to college in Olympia and played volleyball. Got passionate about teaching and coaching at a young age. I've been coaching volleyball for 15 years. And that was always, I always knew that, that was the way that I was going to give back, was like just natural leader. And I love shining my light on other people and showing them who they're capable of being. All generations. I love coaching the kids and adults, all of it. I love it all.
Right. So, volleyball. So our daughter did volleyball, and she didn't want to play sports. And then I'm like, oh no, you can play volleyball. So, for me, playing or watching her and all the other kids, I knew when time was for them to go to a coach like you. Like someone who has like more talent or more. I was really good at pickup volleyball, and what I knew, I passed on to the rec lead. And then when they started to get better, I'm like, you probably need to go to a different. So, what ages did you coach when you did volleyball?
I still coach. I have a team that I started coaching for South Sound Volleyball Club when they were 8 years old, and this would be my 5th year. COVID shut it down, so this would have been my 5th year, and they're turning 13.
Oh my gosh!
And I'd say that coaching volleyball became more than coaching the sport to these kids, and it was about raising sound human beings, and really teaching them confidence in themselves and communication skills and how to respect themselves, how to respect each other, how more of there's no hierarchy, we're equals. And that was my biggest thing, teaching them that they're their own voice and they're their own creator of their worlds. And I'm just here to guide them a little bit,
and I think as coaches, that's what we're led to do, because especially at 13, they're kind of they don't know what to do.
Self-image is so important. It's crazy. And then now I coach for actually Annie Wright High School, the private school down the road.
Oh, okay.
So I coach for them now. It's the high school team, and COVID again shut us down till next year. We were having practices, and I was going limited practices, but can't wait to get back in with them. And whole nother ball game, with young women and ensuring their worth, and and strengthening that muscle of who they are. And yeah, man.
Because even if they get in high school, they're still looking. Their self-worth always seems to fluctuate. Sometimes it's up, and we'd watch it in the volleyball games where the girls would be doing well, and then something would happen and it would change, and you go, come on, but they, So that's, how do you help them with the fluctuations of emotion or as a coach when something like that happens?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, the way this is going. I'd say it's about when I've caught it before, just an example, when you pull the player to sub and they cry because they're being pulled off, and it's so much head trash and so much their worth is if they're on the court. And it's that's an insane mindset to have that will not serve you as you become an adult in the world. Coming off the court, you need to support that person that's coming in. Go get it. Give her a high five and say, go dig that crap up. Go get it, girl. Go serve. Get our team some aces. This is we rise together, and you rise by lifting others. So if you're coming off the court crying because you're not playing, it's girl, girl.
That's actually a great attitude to have, because they feel there's something wrong with them, and that's when it changes, right? We were always told that don't ever say they're doing very well, they're going to win, and then something would happen and they would choose.
Yeah, it's like we would jinx them of something
But
like
it's
that.
not.
But if we're not, but it's happened. Like our one team, our one game, our girls were so stupidly so far ahead, and I was like, wow. And Steve goes, we're gonna win this one, and they lost the next three. I mean, and it wasn't anything. It was something that got into their head, right? Somebody got pulled, somebody had a wrong thing. And I think it's really important for coaches to really think about what you just said, Devin, about coaching to that re-rise together. And I love that about you, because everything that you do, you put that amount of effort into, whether it's your coaching of your kids or it's your mind transformation coaching, and that's what kind of like that's what attracted us to you.
Yeah.
So because you're just there.
Yeah, you were a real estate agent, but obviously this is something that you want to focus on, and
mindset coaching.
Yeah, mindset coaching, because actually when we belonged to Ignite U, or you used to, but we met at Ignite U. It's a networking group. And you actually got into real estate because you were going to build, what was it that what was your...
My sanctuary, wildflower.
Yes.
I still plan on making that with my life,
Yeah.
Still in the vision, daily meditation, I picture that.
Yeah, so tell us about Wildflower, because that was, after our conversation, I was like, wow. Well, a girl who's moving.
It's kind of evolved since Henry was born, because now I intend, and my mom is a teacher, and I have my bachelor's in teaching as well. And so we plan on, with the way that COVID's been going, converting this wildflower dream to a school and offering an alternative school for the area. So Henry's just a baby now, but by the time that he'll be ready to be schooled, I was like, I'm homeschooling him, and I'm going to show him what's up, you know what I mean? And then I was like, I would love to empower. And then, my friends are like, would you take my kid too? And I was like, oh yeah, for sure. Like 100%. And then it just evolved into a bunch of teachers came to me talking about it. And I was like, this is like a plan that's in action that my mom and I are in the very first steps of planning out. So
isn't that cool?
Can't speak much to it, except that it will be here and and great.
Nice.
It's funny that one of the hidden benefits of COVID is people's response to it, and a lot of that is the education of their children. Instead of letting the schools handle it, now parents are realizing, wow, I actually can do this, and I can help, and I see, wow, that's pretty good. This might turn into something.
I work from home. That was the whole goal, having Henry. So I was like, and then when he starts going to school, I can still work from home and serve. And I really think my mindset coaching, when I'm helping adults, all of the things that I'm freeing them from, all the suffering in their mind that I'm freeing them from, originated when they were a kid. So it's like, how cool if I could work with kids and empower them really young. And then you don't have to reverse this mind trash habits that we all have, right?
Exactly.
Amen. Amen to that.
Yeah.
Because they say you are, by the time you're 7 years old, you've got that imprint of life on you, and then from then on you kind of almost directed by the stuff that you've gotten up until 7 years old. And so that's great that you actually want to get them early.
Heck yeah.
Well, think about it. I don't know the statistic off my head, but by the time a child is like 3 years old, they've heard maybe you might know it, they've heard the word no over 1 million times, right? And so that's their first word is no that they learn. They hear it over and over again, and it just keeps getting embedded deeper and deeper and deeper.
Interesting. That's really interesting.
And that's
my head says
no.
all the time, how can we make this a yes? How can I make my son feel like a powerful creator of his life? And Nick, my 11-year-old nephew, lives with me too, and so that's always in the back of my mind, like.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, you really evolved becoming a parent.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know, exactly. So tell us a little bit about, obviously you were a coach, but there was the idea of like you want to help people transform their lives because you yourself, right? If you don't mind saying that you transformed your life, you were able to. And tell us a little bit about that.
Thanks,
Sure.
Steve. Just like, thanks for the acknowledgement in that. I was a drug addict and alcoholic for the ages of like 18 to 25. And it just got thicker and thicker into it. I was a bartender, 3 jobs. I could afford the lifestyle, paid my bills. No one knew. It was definitely a secret. And I've always been a positive person. So then when I started reaching out for help, people were like, what, Devin? No. And no one took me seriously. And no one thought that I really had an issue. And so I was like, dang, I got to do this on my own. And I just had a crazy spiritual awakening, found God, found myself, found that inner voice, that inner love, that inner connectedness to the universe, like all of it. Just found so much purpose in a moment, really.
In a moment, tell us about that moment, if you.
The moment was, I was almost turning 25. I was outside in a river or in a lake, and standing in the lake, and I was connected to the water that I was standing in, and like quite literally, my body became the water. Like if anyone has practiced meditation, a lot of people would explain this as oneness, or like being in the flow, or like religion may describe it as like filling up with the Holy Spirit. Like it's like complete bliss and complete. It makes my heart race talking about it, because it's just such a beautiful state, and you're just like, you just know that you are one with everything. I knew I was the water. I knew I was the trees. And I had never experienced anything like this before. I was like, am I having a stroke? Am
I going crazy? What's happening?
This? And people would talk about God and their love for God. And I would just like, oh my gosh, roll my eyes, just because I didn't get it. I just didn't get how loved I was.
Exactly.
And I got it in a minute.
Wow.
And this voice, this beautiful woman's voice, I looked at the mountain and I looked up, and it just looked like a woman laying there on her side, all curvy. And I was like, whoa, I want to be that beautiful. And her voice, clear as day, I call her Pachamama now, said to me, you can be this beautiful if you stop putting poison in your body. And I was like, done, cold turkey. I quit everything, alcohol, all the insane drugs. Like, so cool. And and it was like my vibration was so drastically shifted that every cell in my body knew that I didn't drink alcohol and I didn't do drugs. The next day offered my drugs and my alcohol from my people, just like we do every day. And I was like, oh no, I don't do that anymore. Thanks, guys. And then I was like,
what?
Wait, Devin, you don't do that anymore? Like, no, we don't do that anymore. I'm like, and I believe you. Yeah, dude. So it's like I've seen the drastic shift and the change, and I'm like, I got to give this to other people.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I got shivers just listening to your story again. The first time was amazing. The second time is even moving.
But you put yourself in that position because you were probably wanted something to happen, right?
Yeah, you got to think like some deep part of us, like I call it a higher self, like our soul, our inner being, or the part of us that's in our head always being there with us. That part of me wanted so badly to not be on these drugs and alcohol. I would cry driving to my drug dealer's house. Like, you don't want to be this person, Devin. And I would look at my bank account. How much money do I have for drugs? And why am I doing this to myself? But my body was just like autopilot. It would just go and get it and do more.
Yep.
It's killer.
Those habits that we need to break.
It's killer. Yeah. And like, it's like, I always say, the opposite of addiction is connection. So if you're addicted to something, anything, food, TV, a habit, people can get addicted to an emotion, like feeling like a victim. It's like it just gets comfortable to be in that. The opposite of that is connection. Find something to connect to where you are being your fullest, most authentic self in that moment. Do it all the time. And I think the nature is what woke me up. Like quite literally connecting with nature. Full immersion, boom, woke me up.
We had a prior guest, and she similar experience. She was addicted to stuff, and she went on a 26-mile hike by herself in a backpack,
Badass.
and that was
Yeah.
it. Down the coast, she
was
wanted
tripping.
to just, she's like, I just need to do this for myself. One, to say that I can do it. Another one was to connect. And I think that's, a lot of people go through that. I just really need to connect. Because even I do walking in the morning, and I can walk down my street. I can get up and walk down the street and go 4 miles. Or I can get in my car, I could drive to where there's like some beautiful water and there's some mountains, and I can walk there. And so I choose to get in my car and drive and walk there because it's just so peaceful. And
I love that you set that space for yourself. That's huge.
right. So tell us about, in the last, 10 minutes or so, tell us about your mindset transformation. So we know how you wanted. So maybe not everybody knows how, but why did you want to go and take on this coaching role? I mean, it seems so perfect for you, but so what was the pivot that was like, nope, this is what I want to do. I want to share this with everybody.
Yeah.
And
it found me. Like, it was in my blind spot. I didn't realize. I was a huge fan of Tony Robbins, and I listened to him. And then on Facebook, I had an ad come up that said UPW, Unleash the Power Within with Tony Robbins. Have you guys ever been?
Yeah.
Have you done it live?
No, we just did that challenge, that free challenge.
Build Your Brand challenge after?
Yeah.
Or the Comeback Challenge.
The comeback.
That's right. I
Challenge.
saw you on the Comeback Challenge. It was
yeah.
right after that I got the ad for UPW.
UPW, yeah.
Unleash the Power Within. Oh my gosh. Life changing. And he actually teaches in an exercise the same breakthrough that I experienced when I was in the water and rewired my habits, and all of my body, all of my emotions, all of my brain were fully immersed in this environment, and I changed a habit. Tony Robbins has learned how to do that in a setting in conversation with people. So he quite literally can take anybody, sit down with you, and create that same breakthrough and that same shift of habits. And so during UPW, I did it again. I was like, I'm going all out. I don't care. If you ever see Tony Robbins, he's all clapping big and dancing. People are jumping up and down. You're like, that's insane. That's too much. That's a bit much, Tony. But he explains the science of like getting your mind involved, getting your body involved, getting your the quickest way to change your state of your mind if you're feeling down in the slumps and just pity me, woe is me, jump up and down, move your body, shake your butt, literally.
Yeah.
And he shows the science of this is the quickest way to release endorphins in your body. This is the quickest way to get all the good juices flowing so you can create from there and not from,
Right.
So I was like, I'm going all out. I'm going to do everything that he says to do. And I was in my bedroom for 4 days. UPW, first ever virtual event. Changed my life. Changed my life so drastically. I quit smoking. I rewired a habit of smoking right then, and done. So cool. So cool. And that was what started life coaching, mindset coaching was in my blind spot. And that was when I realized, I was like, oh, that's what I've been getting ready for. It was to serve people and be a coach.
Yeah.
I already am a coach.
There you go. You stepped into it well.
Totally. Thank you. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Well, you were a coach, sort of like the steps from before. You became a volleyball coach, and the idea of helping others go. So that's awesome. And Tony Robbins, I'm like, right? That's just saying the energy that's kind of got me pumped up now too. So.
Sitting up straight over here.
Slouch,
Tony gets me going.
But
Right.
you said something. We get addicted to certain responses or habits. Maybe I'm say a part of drugs or smoking or anything like that. But
Eating.
But the habits of emotions or how we respond, everyone responds, and that's interesting that we can choose a different way.
Oh yeah,
not be a victim.
Yeah, I love that. And the first step is awareness that you have the power to change it. You're not a victim of your mind. Our job is to train our mind, and a lot of people don't probably me saying those words right now might be the first time that someone's tried that on. Like someone is listening and is like, what?
Right.
Like,
Victim
you
of your
mean
mind,
I
yeah.
can change my thoughts if I choose? Like it's a real thing to become aware of and feel the responsibility of, because then you got to give yourself grace, right?
Yeah,
Right.
that's it.
Right.
Grace.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because if without it, you just, I think without you just think, oh, I failed at this again. Oh, I failed at this again.
Because
Right.
we're our own worst enemy, really.
Yeah.
Our own worst, and we could be our biggest champion.
Yeah, and it's our job to be our best friend. Like, we got to live with our brain for our whole life. Why not make it the coolest person you know?
Awesome. That's great. Got me going. Oh my God, Devin, we could keep going on, but I think
So,
we're,
Devin, how can people get a hold of you? And talk about mindset, talk about their journey, maybe something that they might be going through that, they would just love to sit and just talk with you about.
Yeah. I'm super. I'm available. Anyone, everyone. You can find me on Facebook, Devin Odom, YN, DEVYN.
DEV.
And this Saturday, I'm doing a free Zoom class on meditation.
Oh,
So
really?
one of the biggest practices that I incorporate in my daily life for my mindset coaching on myself is meditation. And I can't even begin to describe the magic that could happen in your life if you set this just 5 minutes for yourself every day.
Yeah.
Like Michelle, you go on those walks and you do that. That's a beautiful meditative practice. And you're definitely meditating in those moments. And
absolutely.
fully present and breathing and giving yourself that space. And even you could probably speak. If you didn't walk for a week, probably things would start to go downhill for you a little bit. Like your mindset, your results in your business, your diet, like just all of it. Like,
all of it goes.
What
Totally.
time? What time on Saturday?
oh yeah, 9:30 in the morning.
It's going to keep you on track.
Yeah, no, thank you, Steve. I appreciate that a lot. Excuse me. DevinCodom@gmail.com. So email me, and then I will send you the invite.
Okay.
Reach out to me on
I
Facebook.
think I'll do that, actually.
Yeah. Oh, heck yeah. Oh, yeah.
For 30 minutes. I've got something at 10, but...
Nope, it's going to be quick. Yep, because I didn't want to get people on and talk for an hour. It's like, I'm going to be on for 15 minutes. I'm literally going to give you the easiest technique, and I'm going to offer it for a couple I want to do 5 different techniques.
Nice.
These meditations, these different techniques that I'm going to be sharing over the 5 videos have given me massive freedom in my life from the own suffering in my mind. And even most recently in the last couple weeks, I've really been freed from the anxiety of being a mom and COVID. Like, the fear of death just came over me really heavily when Henry was born, which I never was afraid of dying before. But now all of a sudden, I gotta stay alive for my son.
There you go. There you go.
So it really helps with that anxiety. It went from debilitating to nope, I have control over my mind again, and I can stop these thoughts from running amok.
All right,
Nice.
good. So Devin C. Odom, gmail.com, Saturday, 9:30 a.m.
Yeah.
And everyone can reach out to you. And thank you so much, Devin. This has been awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys. Love what you're doing here.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Hi, we're here talking about positive money conversations because a lot of times we found that when the talk turns to money, it tends not to be positive, correct?
No, you're right. It's just times like all of a sudden people start to clam up and they don't want to talk about it. And so here's some ways that you can help to have that conversation with your friends and families.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's all about creating an ease and a familiarity and a lack of judgment. I think people have a tendency to feel that they're going to be judged by they're talking about finances, and so we first tip is to be open and honest, and you have to be a little bit vulnerable when it comes to money and come to a place where you are and not be...
Yeah, so, a lot of people think that they're going to be judged by their either lack of money or how they haven't handled their money very well, or they might have just a negative history about money, like, oh man, I just don't know anything about it. So be honest, be honest with your husband, your friends, your family, and then you know what, you get your power back. When you start talking about your goals and your dreams, about what it is that you want to accomplish with the money that you have, all of a sudden you get this victory, I guess, over how to
Well, you
take
start
that control.
exactly. You start seeing things on a forward basis. You're not stuck in revisiting past mistakes or past whatever when it comes to money. Hey, what can we do? Not what have I done, but what can we do about money? And that goes to our second thing about being using positive language.
Oh yeah, that's huge. Positive language is always
And
better.
because we all can say we grew up with, maybe not all, I won't say that, but a lot of people grew up with a negative mindset or negative image of money. Money doesn't grow on trees.
Yep.
I'm not made of money. We can't afford it. You hear that constantly. So when people,
Well, just think of it this way. What do you think, Steve, when you talk about a budget?
I think I'm unlimited.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on a scarcity mindset type of thing. You only got a certain amount,
Right.
so you want to hold on to it.
How about this other one? How about, hey, we got to watch what we're spending. Have you ever done that?
Yep, exactly.
So what does that feel like?
It feels limiting, and that's
Well, it feels like you're being punished, right?
right.
I can't
being
really,
punished.
so I can't really, spend what I want because I'm limited, right? Or I got to watch what I'm doing, right?
Yeah, so you have to say, hey, things. If you can't afford something or you're unlimited, say, I'm unlimited budget. That doesn't fit with my strategic plan or our plan towards money. Plan sounds so much better than a budget, and essentially that's what a budget is. It's a plan.
Right.
It's
right.
a plan in place, how much you're going to spend. So why not call it something like that? Call it like a plan, and then use and well, we found that the word can't is probably one of the most negative words ever. I can't do something.
Exactly.
Replace can't with choose. I choose not to do something. I choose not to spend at this place. The money is not being well spent there. So
Right.
you choose, right? The
Right,
choice
right.
is back in your corner.
And number 3, think about leading with your goals, right? That kind of goes with your choosing. Like, hey, like someone would say something like, hey, I'm broke. Well, don't say I'm broke. Just say, hey, I choose to, I don't know, whatever you choose to do. I choose to do, something different with my money because I want to buy a house.
Exactly.
Or I don't really want to go out to dinner 5 days a week because I'm saving for that car. So lead with your goals. Whatever your goals are in mind, lead with that.
And that usually provides you enough incentive to follow through. If you don't have a plan, if you don't have a goal set aside, you know what? Hey, go to Buffalo Wild Wings. That's great. That's our go-to method.
Right.
Go to
right.
Buffalo Wild Wings. But yeah, and if you see have a goal in place, have it written down, do a vision board, whatever, but have something. And Michelle is actually very good about going on trips and saving money for trips. I mean, we've been to a bunch of places that I thought, oh my God, we can't afford it, but there we went.
Right.
So because of the goal.
You have a goal, and really it could be any goal. It could be a weight goal. It could be whatever. But you want to make sure that you lead with that because that solidifies it in your mind why you're doing what you're doing. Does that make sense?
Exactly. And then at the end is ask for and offer support. Ask for something if you don't know how to do something. Ask for accountability is a big thing. Like, hey, I want to help me on this to go to save towards this, to save for this car, to put money on this house.
Right. So think about it. Think about it this way: if you bought a blue car tomorrow, Steve, and you think, "Oh man, this car, I've never seen it. This is such a great color, blue." Guess what you see the next day, Steve?
Yep, all sorts of blue cars.
All sorts of blue cars, because you haven't really, put it out there. You didn't speak it. So if I'm speaking, hey, we're going to Greece next year, or hey, we're going on this river cruise in 2 years, guess what, Steve? We're going on a cruise in 2 years. But, that's because I spoke it, and we're going to make our goals to get to there. So it's never going to be.
And then ask for your spouse or your partner to enlist you in that goal and pursuit. And, because it gives you accountability and it gives you focus and a teammate. A teammate on this journey towards financial independence. So that's kind of our
Well, think of it this way.
keeping it positive.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Well, that's our tips for today. Thank you so much.